Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Pending when the network gets better, we'll try and as much as possible to do this recordings and post until the network is better in Nigeria, and then we'll go back to our daily live stream. I know that a lot of people miss the live stream, and I'm already feeling for the supposedly selected person for this month giveaway that might not happen. I mean, the month is still young. We still have a long time to go. And then this, the month of August for football lovers is always a beautiful month. It's the month where the season starts proper. Coming up this weekend is the Community Shield in England, Super Cup in different places, and then the last set of friendly matches are rolling through. Arsenal, Leverkusen, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, a lot of friendly matches running through today. Then the Olympics is also winding down its clock already. Thierry Henry showing us some new dance steps in the dressing room. Nigerian athletes, some are happy, especially the female athletes, but at the same time, in tears is Favor Ofili, who feels like she's putting in so much work, so much effort preparing for these Olympics, and she thought she's within a shot of the 100 meters and also the 200 meters. But then at the end of the day, the winner manner, her name was not listed, and then no communications and all that have been the biggest problem. Like I've always said, 50% of the problem in Nigerian sports and this would disappear if we know how to communicate better, from football to athletics to politicians, everybody. Communication have always been a problem. We have a sickness, a disease in Nigeria. That's the disease of assumption. I think say you don't do them. I think say one of the reason why the payoff line of this this channel is Elevated TV, the little details count, was that my whole general thought of how Nigerian sports and the Nigerian society runs in general. We don't pay attention to little details. There are so many problems that would be solved if we pay attention to little details. I'm not veering off football, but I just want to give you a very cool example. When I was growing up, for instance, young people, young boys and young men, in every neighborhood. Obviously, I grew up in Warri in a communal living at the time. And one of the things that I enjoyed from growing up was the fact that weekends, Saturdays is the day for cleaning. Now, what does mean is wash your clothes, apart from the usual monthly environmental sanitation. But Saturdays, you see all the young men in the entire community. And when I say community, not one street, like an entire community. Now, from one end, we'll start clearing the gutter, the drainage. Between that 6 a.m. and 10 or 11 or 12, if we don't go to the field to play football, we'll clear the drainage, and then when we're done, we'll pack all of the dirt. The sand will be used to fill out the hollow places on the roads, and then the dirt, we'll pack them to go and trash. And then as we're moving from compound to compound or street to street, those who are cooking and providing beans and gari for people to eat, bread, fried plantain, boiled yam, rice, as we're moving, it's like a mob, but it's a positive mob. We're moving, we're cleaning, so we've done this street, we've done this one. Some people are moving from this side, some other people, because we're all shared in different group. And then at the end of the day, we'll converge at probably a college or generator, the junction and all that. We'll just finish, go take our bath, and then come back. If there's still time to play football, we'll play. If we can't play football, we just laugh about it. But today, when you drive around town or communities or anywhere, you notice how we throw litter, plastic container, pure water rubbers, everything in drainages. And then when the rains come, very little rain that has not even lasted for 2 or 3 hours, you see flood everywhere, and people are complaining, I'm spending too much money to fix my car. Government this, government that. I'm not saying that government doesn't have a responsibility. They do have a responsibility. But we as a people, we are also culpable of creating those problems. And that's because we don't care. And because we don't care, we create more problems. Having said that, my name is Edafe Mathias. channel. You love to call me the Lego Sports. And like I always say, I'm not the guy who will give you the here we go moment. That's Fabrizio Romano's job. I'm not the guy who will tell you what is cooking inside the club. That's David Ornstein's job. I'm also not the one who will tell you, oh, what's the transfer daily. That is AFTV's job. And I'm also not the guy who give you the best of comedy and sports mixed together. That's for Fans Tribe to do. They are the best at doing that. And I think that I feel very, very proud to say that they're a Nigerian channel and they're doing great things. They're expanding exponentially and also give us here in this channel a lot of support, helping us with creating thumbnails and suggesting ideas of what to do to grow the channel. Talking about growing the channel, the best way to grow the channel is for subscribers to join the channel, and those who are already on the channel to say, okay, let me share the link, let me tell my friends about what I love about this channel, why they should be part of the channel. So if you're part of this channel, please share the link, tell people that this is a place where you get analysis, where you can raise questions and they will be answered as the best way possible. So let's talk about a little bit of analysis today. And one of the questions that I got was the one that comes from okay, I had it open before but my screen has locked. All right, is Dami. Dami says, hi, Daffy. FC Barcelona have not signed any player yet, but they won the El Clasico friendlies, 2-1 against Real Madrid. Okay, yes, they did won that game. What do you have to say? Do you think that it's going to be a good season or a bad season for them? All right. To be very honest here, I think that Barcelona doesn't get the praise that they deserve in the storm that they are in. Quite agree that they put themselves in the storm, but the people who put them in the storm is not the current leadership. Okay, so let's also put that out there. The way and manner that they've gone through this storm, some other clubs would have gone into administration, some other club would have gone into extinction, some other club would have folded, and I quite agree that the rules have been bent for them as well. Well, if you're that big, like the famous George Orwell's book, All Animals Are Not Equal. So if you're that big a club, it will be okay to bend the rules. Real Madrid have been in this place before in the 90s. The rules were bent to save them. The king of Spain and, the famous ring, giving Raúl the ring. Remember that story? So it's not a big deal that happens. Rules are made by men to serve the purpose of men, not to kill men. So that's how somebody once talk about it. Yes, rules are there to guide people, but then there are mistakes, there are business mistakes. Shouldn't destroy an institution. I'm not holding brief for them, but what I'm saying is the FC Barcelona have tried to prove, from Lionel Messi to Sergio Busquets, Xavi Hernandez to Andres Iniesta and a host of others, that when there is no money bag to go sign big players or waste money like they did with Coutinho, Dembele, and a host of other players, they can trust their home. The saying, my mother used to say that when the kitchen is good and the chef is good, eating out becomes a luxury, not a habit. Okay, it is when you don't have a good kitchen, you don't have a good cook at home, that eating out becomes a regular habit. It becomes your everyday thing, because you know that if you get home, you won't get a good food. But what Barcelona have done is that whole saying of charity begins at home. No matter how bad, east, west, north, or south, home is the best, and that's exactly what they have done. Because at a point in time where signing players or registering these players with big salaries and all that is a problem, they've managed to go to their academy, the La Masia as it is called, and brought in players. And not only that they brought in these players, what they've also succeeded in doing is that they've tied them up to big contract, just in case they outperform expectation and anybody wants to buy, you have to pay that big. They don't just have to lose them. So they've done well. And in this period of their downtime, they've won the league title with Xavi before. Now Xavi's left. The German coach is there as a Flick. And I think it's done quite a few good moves on the chessboard of setting his team. Because again, what you look at is, when you look at the Barcelona team, one of the things that cross your mind is, how do they set up, how do they play? They've tried their best to set up a team that is focused on playing the Barcelona way, the free movement, high pressing, creating goals from the wide areas, and making sure that you don't track a man down. I think that sometimes when I watch them play, maybe because of how the way I've seen Lewandowski play for Bayern over the years, I think that Lewandowski does look to me like the Cristiano Ronaldo that came back to Manchester United. Sometimes it seems to slow the attack down. Sometimes it feels like it's stifling them. Sometimes, when you have all this young blood who wants to run, yes, his experience is needed, but he does miss more chances now than he scores them. And he's also not joining in the creative play. He's also not joining in the press. He's also not joining in chasing for the ball when they lose the ball. I'm not saying he's a bad player. There's nobody who can come out and talk down Lewandowski. But I think that if the opportunity comes to move him on, wouldn't be a bad idea. I would trade Lewandowski for Nico Williams, because the understanding between Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams is a fantastic one. But I mean, it does sound like I'm stupid right now to even say that. But then, if you're building a young team, I'm not talking about the kind of young team that Chelsea is building, but if you're building a young team full of understanding, I mean, the young players at Barcelona, if you add Nico Williams to it, I've got experience. They've just won the Euros and all that. I think it will work well for them, and it will take them further. One more good season for Nico Williams is transfer. His buyout might go up to 100 or something. In the region of 50 million for Nico Williams at his age, 22 or so, is a fantastic opportunity. But hey, Barcelona does not have that money. He might stay with Athletic Bilbao for one more season, but then one more season from now, Manchester United will be a lot more ready. Chelsea will be a lot more ready. Mikhailo Modric might not be useful anymore. They might want to kick him out. Raheem Sterling, they might want to kick him out. Liverpool will be a different beast, and all the clubs that will be in the market looking for Nico Williams, if he have one more good season, will be way more than FC Barcelona. And Barcelona are not going to finish their stadium this season and then all of a sudden become rich overnight. So I think that this is a very big chance of them to jump on this Nico Williams train. They're losing it. But then, for my expectation for this season, let's be very, very honest here. Real Madrid was not at their very best last season, but the coach managed to conjure a team that went on to win the league and as well win the UEFA Champions League. Now, they've got the bestiality of the mutant turtle ninja, Kylian Mbappe, his speed, his precision, his goals, and you still have that cast. They've managed to evolve their midfield without struggling. They've managed to, shed the feathers or the skins of the Cristiano Ronaldo era, Benzema, and they have Rodrigo, they have Endrick, they have Vinicius Jr., they have Jude Bellingham, who may not play well for England, but was the player of the season last season in the La Liga. So you look at all of that and you tell yourself that Real Madrid will not just go from great or going upward to pivoting of all of a sudden to have a flat line. So Barcelona will still be there. And then you look, Atletico Madrid just signed Julian Alvarez. Yes, not the greatest of players or the most outstanding player, not a Thierry Henry, not a Shevchenko, not a Ruud van Nistelrooy, but then nobody is as lucky as that young man. So if he goes with that talismanic luck that makes him already at a young age, he's won the World Cup, he's won the Copa, he's won the Champions League, the English FA Cup, the English League title 2 times, and all the titles that he's won. You want to tell yourself that he just might get that magic one and take it there. And it doesn't look like Diego Simeone is slowing down. What he's done is also renew his team, rejuvenated that team, shed some heavyweights, and then build the team around again. He's taking the team back to a team that have fighters at the back, grafters at the middle, and then speed up front. That also might be a challenge for Barcelona, but I think that it's still going to be Real Madrid's title to lose at home. I'm not sure that Real Madrid is going to, with Mbappe in the squad now, it's hard to bet against them. But then again, if you go back to the Galactico eras, they were not really that fantastic anyway. So you might say, okay, the star players might be clashing in the dressing room, might be a problem. But I've not seen a dressing room have issues when they have Carlo Ancelotti as the manager. So I'm thinking that he's going to be able to put a firm grip on it and get something going. Well, that's it, Dami. Well, there's another one from Joyce. We hardly get ladies on the show, but there's another one from Joyce who say, hey, Idafe, sad that we're not having the live stream anymore, but it was nice to see the video that you put out yesterday. Thank you very much for thinking about us. Really great that you're making the sacrifice. I hope that one day the channel will get the numbers that you're looking for, and you are able to do the things that you have in mind. I have a question for you. Liverpool have not signed any player. Man City doesn't look like they are also signing. They've just lost Alvarez, and Arsenal by the end of last season, you and a few Arsenal fans were saying that Arsenal need about 5 to 6 signing. They've only signed Calafiori. What are their chances? I love your analysis on the video yesterday, but I need you to focus more on Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City. What are their chances? Well, to be very honest with you, Joyce, I think that Arsenal have a good chance, but if they don't sign additional player, I think they still need Mikel Merino in that midfield. The friendly against Bayer Leverkusen might come tougher than they expect it to be. It's really good. I'll be happy if they lose. I'll be very, very happy if they lose, and if they lose badly, maybe like 3-0, 4-0, that kind of defeat would be nice. But it's just that the problem with that kind of defeat also will not make everybody say, "Oh, look at the Calafiori." But it'll be good to lose, and it'll be good tactically if they struggle in midfield. That will make a lot of sense and push the wheel, because this, when people start feeling comfortable that last season we scored the second highest goal, we considered the least amount of goals, let's not even push it, let's relax. It doesn't say like Thomas Partey is going to leave, Jorginho is going to be better, but he's aging. Okay, it's added 1 year to his year from last season to this season, so it'll be good to go get that one player or two. I think that Arsenal needs Mikel Merino, and then they need a player as a backup, like I said on the previous video on Bukayo Saka. Yes, somebody also reminded me in the comment section that Iten Nwaneri is the guy that they would be banking on as backup to Bukayo Saka. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, we've seen what Phil Foden have done coming off the youth team of Man City. Rico Lewis have done as well, and there's a new guy now, I've forgotten his name, for Man City as well. And then we've seen what Kopama did at Chelsea. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, these young players are not good, but Arsenal does not really produce that much young players from the academy. We've seen Rhys Nelson, we've seen Ashley Maitland-Niles, we've seen what's it called, the Ghanaian boy now, Eddie Nketiah, and they've not really lived up to the billings. And unfortunately, these guys have not been sold. Eddie Nketiah have not been sold. Rhys Nelson have not been sold. But I just think that if Arsenal get Mikel Merino and they stay off injuries, and then they get a backup for for Bukayo Saka, I think that Arsenal will be pushing for the title. For Man City will always be Man City. What I love about Man City and Pep Guardiola, even though people think that he's killing football because there's no longer individual play, there's no longer excellence of execution from individual player. Nobody scores 40-yarder, 50-yarder in football anymore. I don't want to blame Pep Guardiola for it. I just think that the entire European footballing system have decided that this is how we want to play our football right now. The only problem I have with that is that it's not forcing Brazilians not to play their samba and entertaining way, because every time you see those flick and turns that normally come with Brazilian football, people now see it as disrespect and not good, and then the Brazilians are not afraid to be in the news, so it becomes a problem. But let me say this about City. What I love, like yesterday video, I was talking about Manchester United, and I said that being nice does not take you anywhere. And I like with Pep Guardiola, from the get-go that I don't keep players who don't want to stay. And from the moment you start making noise that I don't want to stay, the first thing he does is he tells you openly, comes out openly to say, well, I am not pushing you out. Okay, probably before now, Pep Guardiola will not speak, and that's the reason why I have problems with Yaya Toure, Samuel Eto'o, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. These days, he will come out and say, "Look, I'm not pushing you out. I will put my hands around you. I'll give you a chance to play." But then, if you still insist that you want to leave, he doesn't waste his time. With the sale of Julian Alvarez, that's exactly what it means. Like, look, I'm not going to force you to stay. It's your career. You'd rather be happy playing where you want to go than staying here and not being happy, which is very, very good. It might be brutal. It might be, something that makes you feel like, oh man, this guy doesn't have a conscience. He doesn't like his players. No, that's not the truth. The truth of the matter is being nice take you nowhere. So for Man City, they are still the odds-on favorite to win a 5th straight title, which is crazy. Premier League that everybody said nobody can turn into a fisherman's league, but then that's exactly what is happening right now. So they are the odds-on favorite, but if there's any team in the Premier League that would shake them, it definitely is Arsenal. And the straight up preseason, Liverpool have impressed me. They are not losing, they're winning matches, they're playing better. Not the young club way, but I mean they play from the back, play out from the back, and when it's not, when the press is too much from the opposition, they play long and they bank on the rejuvenated Mo Salah and the rest of the team. Like I said before, Liverpool have a squad that is good. If the squad are willing to play for this coach, and this coach is not, dragging them through a slave ship like Jurgen Klopp used to do, and they are happy, they might be a surprise team. But I just don't think that it will be easy to repeat the standards of Jurgen Klopp. And if that doesn't happen, Liverpool are going down. But then for going down, Man United so far, I mean the season have not started, but so far they are not getting the signings in that guarantees them the chance to make it to the top four. Like my co-presenter, brilliant Nigerian Bobby Ray Ukaigwe says that they have a donut midfield. If they don't fix that donut midfield and turn it into a shawarma or something of a meat pie or something better, they just might suffer the same fate of last season. A lot of people talk about Chelsea. My problem with Chelsea is currently they're signing too many young players. It will eventually work for them on the long run if they are able to mold them together, get them to work together as a unit and go, because that what that means is you now infuse it with a bit of experience that will dot it and then they work up together and grow. But so far, it's hard for me to pick anything on Chelsea. So I'm going to still wait. I'm going to see what they would do. They have a new coach, Enzo Maresca. I've got a big job on his hand. This is going to be like one of his toughest and most difficult jobs, because you have a team that is lacking in experience, a team that is watching and see what they do to Conor Gallagher, the way they treat him like a piece of shit. And then, you have these players having a mindset that this might just be me. See what they've done to Chalobah and the rest of them, and they're saying to themselves, this might just be me. So whether they go full commitment to the club or say, you know what, let's just be here and wait till the window again where they will be treated as a pawn in the transfer market, I don't know. But I think that Liverpool, well, my initial prediction is that they are going down, but their pre-season have given me reason to change my mind. But then it's preseason. I'm not one to take preseason too serious. I'm not one to believe that preseason means that you are as good as the result of the preseason is, because most of the opposition you're playing against are using players that are not even going to be used during the course of the season. But then you've had a good preseason. But if we go by preseason, probably Celtic will be the best team in Europe next season from the kind of goals that they scored, the performance that they put up. Well, the last I'm going to answer is coming from Tony. Tony says, hey, Daffy, you've not touched on the Italian teams. Do you think that if Osimhen does not move, Napoli will be able to come back and challenge for the title? Remember, they have Antonio Conte. He wins everywhere he goes, apart from that disaster at Spurs. Do you think that they will? Well, Napoli have a tradition of, in the words of Fabio, the great Don Fabio Capello, that Napoli wins the title and celebrates and talk about it for 10 years before they remember to go challenge for another one. Would that be the repeat? I don't think so. The move that they've made have shown that, well, they want to have a taste of it again. There is a big elephant in the room, which is Victor Osimhen. From all the talk and everything that they've done, they show that they want to let him go. They want to sell him. They don't want to keep him, because keeping him would bore a very deep financial hole in their pocket. So they'll do anything to move him on. If it means sending him on loan, paying part of his salaries, they will. But then Victor Osimhen's camp have also come out to say, I don't want to go on loan. I don't want to be a gift wrapper that they used to wrap a gift. Okay, so if you want to sell me, I'm up for it. And anybody who wants to buy me should be willing to pay the money that I want to earn. Now, the caveat with that is as the day goes by and Victor Osimhen start realizing that he's not going to play for Napoli because Antonio Conte, who can sack Diego Costa, the one that all Chelsea fans thought is the direct replacement for Didier Drogba, can sack him with an SMS, Antonio Conte would do worse to Victor Osimhen. Having said that, it's a dilemma, because already the Laurenti will not want to have a player that you're paying £253,000 every week and not playing him regularly. So that is one. But if the coach is able to say, you know what, I don't need to play him regularly to give you the points on the table, on the board, then Victor Osimhen will have to train with the other 23s. That would affect his chances with the Nigerian national team. That will affect his chances of going to the World Cup. That is even if we have a World Cup to go, because the demonic Super Eagles players have made it almost impossible for us to qualify. We still have a chance mathematically. We still have to press calculator, do whatever gets presidential tax force, do whatever we need to do to make sure we qualify. But in a Nigeria where they are forgetting to list their best athlete for 100-meter competition at the Olympics, we might also forget to do the needful to qualify for the World Cup. Having said that, and come back to the question now, I think that Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan are beginning to rejuvenate, are beginning to find their competitive form and their vibe and their rhythm, and they are shelling, players that are not good. Look at Juventus, for instance, a statement clear to Federico Chiesa that you've not been the player you used to be 3 seasons ago when we won the Euros, and injuries have not let it happen for you. Your form have not been consistent. You've not gotten past the 25% mark. We're not going to have you in this team. Thiago Motta, with his performance with Bologna last season, have shown that he's a good coach. He's coming to Juventus. Will he be given the time to put his work together and really prove himself? I don't know. But then what's it called? Xabi Alonso did not take forever to build a concrete team for Bayer Leverkusen. So that might also happen with Juventus and Thiago Motta. So I think that Juventus will be up there battling for it. Inter Milan will still want to defend their title. AC Milan will be in the shindig as well. So the best that probably Napoli would do is to battle with Roma, Lazio, Atalanta, and any other team that comes in for the fourth Champions League spots or probably qualify for Europa. But whether they will win the league title, I think I can, to a large extent, put my foot on the ground and say it's not going to happen. This might be the last season for Farastella as well. Either next season he goes to Juventus or probably go to other European club like Real Madrid or any other team, Paris Saint-Germain or teams in England. But definitely, I don't think that they will win it. I still think that it's going to be between Juventus, AC Milan, or or AC Milan. For Germany, it's going to be interesting. Can Xabi Alonso repeat a title win? Can he defend his title? He doesn't have to go the season unbeaten, just win the title. That would be nice. But I know that for Vincent Kompany, the fire is hot. All of the pleasantries, all of the fun that we're getting out from preseason will soon die down the minute the season starts, because I think that as a black coach, there's a lot on his head. He needs to deliver, just like everybody expects Thierry Henry to beat Spain in the finals and the gold medal match of the Olympics football game. The same way, I think that as a black coach, Vincent Kompany needs to win, and not just win the title, but also win the DFB Pokal and progress in the Champions League. I'm not sure anybody's expecting Bayern to win the Champions League, but then if they get within a chance of winning it, they should. But don't get knocked out early, don't get eliminated in the round of 16. You have to get at least to the semi-finals and then lose by narrow margin. It will be fine. But for domestic competition, Vincent Kompany have no excuse. He needs to go back and wrestle the title from Bayer Leverkusen, and then there will be peace in the land. If not, blood will flow. I like the Americans will say, the blood of patriot I needed to sacrifice. The blood of patriot I needed to water the tree of liberty. So for this, I think that's how it's going to happen. Well, I spent more than the normal 20 minutes that I promised to spend on the show. Thank you very much. We might have another one tomorrow. Plenty of friendly matches coming. We'll have another one. But before then, have a wonderful time and be the very best version of who God created you to be. Bye-bye.